Empire Magazine just dropped a brand new still from Avatar 3 subtitled Fire and Ash. The image shows Neytiri played by Zoe Saldana in full battle mode, bow drawn, ready to strike in the middle of a tense action scene. Not long ago, Saldana confirmed in an interview that her character will face a serious threat in the upcoming film. That threat comes in the form of a new villain named Varang, played by Una Chaplin. She's set to be the film's main antagonist, and interestingly, she's not human. Varang is the fierce leader of a brand new Na'vi clan called the Manquan, also known as the Ash People. James Cameron has previously teased that this tribe will represent a darker side of the Na'vi, one that challenges what we've come to expect. Their philosophy and way of life are radically different from the other clans we've seen so far. Varang herself is described as both a queen and a warrior, someone who's actively opposing the current political landscape on Pandora. What's even more intriguing is that she'll reportedly be working alongside Colonel Quaritch. Yes, he's back, once again played by Stephen Lang. As we saw at the end of The Way of Water, he survived thanks to Spider, and now he's re-entering the conflict with new alliances and likely new motives. This connection ties directly into the larger narrative arc that began in the second film. In many ways, Fire and Ash isn't just a sequel, it feels like a continuation of the same massive chapter. Cameron shot both Avatar 2 and 3 back to back, which means most of the filming has been done for a while now. The production has entered its final stretch, with post-production focusing on editing and polishing the visual effects. Everything is pointing to a wrap-up soon, and Disney is already gearing up to launch the full-scale marketing campaign. James Cameron, known for his perfectionism, recently confirmed that Avatar 3 will be even longer than The Way of Water. That one ran for 192 minutes, but Fire and Ash is expected to cross the 200-minute mark, and yet the stakes this time around seem to justify every extra minute. Both Cameron and the cast have already hinted that this isn't just a continuation, it's shaping up to be the most ambitious and epic chapter in the entire franchise. But it's not just about the action, there's a strong emotional core here too, and everything suggests the story will take a much darker, more tragic turn. There's growing speculation that we might witness the heroic death of a major character, possibly Neytiri or even Jake. That would make sense, especially given how much the sequels focus on themes of legacy, family, and passing the torch to the next generation. We've already seen a glimpse of that in The Way of Water, when Neteyam's death hit the Sully family hard. It proved that death in the Avatar universe isn't off limits like in many blockbusters. It has real weight here, real consequences, and Cameron isn't afraid to go there. Now it feels like the emotional stakes in the third film will be even higher, potentially setting the stage for a devastating finale. If that's where things are headed, then whatever happens in Fire and Ash could become the emotional catalyst for the next generation of heroes. The Sully kids are clearly being positioned as the future of the franchise. In fact, Loak will serve as one of the main narrators in the third film, and Kiri is expected to have nearly double the screen time. So even while we're gearing up for intense personal drama, there's also a massive internal conflict brewing among the Na'vi themselves. That's a big shift. Cameron is deliberately moving away from the familiar human vs. Na'vi formula. This time we're looking at a full-on civil war between clans, and the Ash People will play a critical role in that. It's a bold new direction, and one that promises to push Avatar into even deeper, more complex territory. Even though the Manquans will be portrayed as fierce and radical, they're far from your typical villains. This isn't just some evil Na'vi tribe out to destroy everything. They're more like a people who've been hurt, cut off, and abandoned. Their motivation stems from a deep loss of faith in Eywa, the sacred tree and spiritual consciousness that connects all life on Pandora. There are hints that a devastating ecological disaster may have ravaged their land, severing their bond with Eywa and driving them down a darker path. Concept art reveals that the Manquans live among volcanoes and rugged mountain ranges, harsh, dry terrain that clearly shaped their culture and worldview. This environment likely contributed to their hardened nature and extreme methods, but they shouldn't be seen as pure evil. Their story is rooted in pain, survival, and maybe even their own vision of saving Pandora. Even if that path is soaked in blood and war, their motives promise to be complex, layered, and emotionally grounded. They have their own truth, their own trauma, and possibly their own solution to the planet's future. Disney has already screened the first trailer for Avatar 3, but only behind closed doors at CinemaCon. And according to everyone who saw it, the footage is absolutely mind-blowing. They're saying the visuals are on a whole new level. Cameron's team has once again raised the bar, even compared to The Way of Water, which already set an insanely high standard just 2 years ago. Early reactions highlight how fluid, detailed, and immersive every single shot feels. The camera glides, soars, and races alongside the characters, diving through Pandora's landscapes like you're really there. The trailer also put a strong spotlight on the new Na'vi clans. The Ash People, led by Varang, are front and center, but they're not the only newcomers. Another tribe introduced is the Tialim clan, also known as the Wind Traders. They represent a more technologically advanced culture focused on aerial navigation. Their main mode of transport is a fleet of enormous flying ships with massive sails and smooth egg-like hulls. These vessels float gracefully in the skies of Pandora, looking like airborne fortresses. Interestingly, the Wind Traders won't be allies to Jake and his family either. They're hostile toward them, but they're also in conflict with the Manquans and Varung. That sets up a complex multi-front war, with several clans drawn into a tangled political and ideological struggle. Avatar 3 is clearly expanding far beyond the original Na'vi versus Invaders concept. Now we're looking at an intricate web of alliances, betrayals, and rivalries between the people of Pandora themselves. It's shaping up to be a massive, morally complex war story where everyone has their own agenda, and no side is entirely right or wrong. One of the most talked about moments from the trailer was the depiction of Eywa. According to those who saw it, she appears in a few scenes as a glowing, semi-humanoid being, something divine, ethereal, almost ghost-like. Her full form isn't shown, but it seems like Eywa may now be capable of taking on different shapes, possibly even interacting directly with characters. Of course, it could also be a dream or vision experienced by Kiri, but either way, it adds a powerful mystical layer to the story. There are also some intriguing updates on Colonel Quaritch. Reportedly, Varang gives him new armor and weaponry, and some sources are even teasing the possibility of a romantic connection between them. But easily, the most jaw-dropping part of the trailer is its final act, a massive aerial battle that looks like it'll serve as the film's explosive climax. The sequence involves 3 clans clashing in the skies with breakneck pacing and incredible detail. The sky is literally on fire. Wind Traders' ships are smoking as they maneuver through the clouds, while squads of Ash people dive in on their Ikrons, launching coordinated attacks. Visually, Avatar 3 looks like it's in a league of its own, and story-wise, the stakes are clearly getting higher. As for the franchise's future, it's huge. James Cameron has already mapped out ideas and concepts that stretch all the way to the year 2040. He knows he might not be able to direct every installment himself, so he's been busy world-building, laying down the lore, character arcs, and the rules of this universe in detail. The goal is to eventually pass the torch to other directors, ensuring the Avatar saga can continue to evolve long after he steps away. But for now, all eyes are on December 19th, the official release date for Avatar Fire and Ash, and since the trailer is already finished and being screened behind closed doors, chances are it'll drop publicly sometime early this summer. Until then, all we can do is wait and get ready.